to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's D1? Simple, smart ako.
Mula collegiate hanggang pro, 5-on-5 hanggang 3x3. Mula barangay hanggang international. Usapang basketball sa inyong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado ng umaga. Eh di paano? Bango na! Power and play na! Isa pong magandang umaga sa inyo lahat mga kapatid. Nagmumula pa rin sa ating work from home station. Ako po si Noli Iyala. Ito po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum at ang pinakabagong miyembro ng Power and Play family, ang Cherry Tigo 7 Pro. Fun to drive. Naku, ang dami po nating tatalakayin ngayong araw na to, kaya marami po tayong pag-uusapan, lalong-lalo na sa inyong paboritong basketball. Kaya po, lahat po ng mga nakatutok sa atin sa Signal, sa 1PH, magandang umaga po sa inyo. Sana po nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan from Apari to Holo. And of course, lahat po ng mga tagapakinig sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM, lalong-lalo na sa Cebu City, mayong buntag sa inyong tanan. And of course, lahat po na nagsistream live sa ating Facebook page, Power and Play, sa Radyo 5 at sa 1PH. Basketball rages on as the PBA has begun at marami pa pang development sa mundo ng inyong paboritong sport. At kaya naman po, mamaya makakasama natin mga basketball experts. Una dyan, of course, si Executive Director Attorney Rebo Saguigag, na pag-uusapan ang pagbabalik ng basketball at iba pang collegiate sports, lalong-lalo na sa UAAP. Mamaya makakasama din po natin ang head trainer ng Chooks to Go Pilipinas 3x3 national team, si Coach Aldin Ayo, sa kampanya naman ng ating mga bataan doon po sa FIBA 3x3 Montreal Masters. And of course, si Coach Tim Cone, na ngayon ay nagpapasimuno na ng Barangay Ginebra sa pagbabalik ng PBA. Plus, of course, a special guest, ang Pangulo mismo ng Samahang Basketbol ng Pilipinas, si Mr. Panlilio. Mamaya din in the spotlight, babalikan natin yung New Clark City at ang kanilang pagpasok sa World Architectural Festival kasama ni Architect Royal Pineda. So napakarami, hitik na sa balita, kaya tuloy-tuloy po tayo, walang bibitaw ngayong Sabado na umaga. Pero siyempre, sa pagsisimula ng Power and Play, ibigay natin ang buod ng mga balita ngayong linggong ito sa ating Sports Weekly Highlights. Ranking ni Yuka Saso, number 6 na po ang Phil Japanese sa latest list ng World Golf Rankings mula sa kanyang previous spot na number 9. Hinabol ngayon sa top 5 ni Saso ang mga golfers na sila Nelly Corda, Jin Yang Ko, In-B Park, Seyong Kim at si Lydia Ko. Marami naman pong nangyari noong Miyerkules at una na nga po dyan ang pagbabalik ng PBA. Tuloy-tuloy na ang bakbakan sa Philippine Cup. Matapos ang isang buwang pahinga at lumipat nga ang aksyon sa Don Honorio Ventura State University o DAVSU. Araw-araw po ang triple header maliban ngayong Sabado at weekly rin maglalabas ng schedule ang PBA ng kanilang mga laro. Sa kaparehas na araw, lumipad na po ang volleyball sensation ng Pilipinas na si Jaja Santiago papuntang Japan. Para po yan sa kanyang ika-4 na stint sa Agio Medics team. Magsisimula ang Japan V-League sa Oktubre at tatagal doon ang Pinay import hanggang April 2022. Target ng Agyo na makuha ang kampyonato sa V-League matapos mapanalunan ang titulo sa V-Cup noong Marso. Miyerkules din, pumanaw ang Pinoy Olympic bronze medalist na si Leopoldo Cervantes sa edad na 59. Binawian ng buhay ang 1988 boxing Olympian dahil sa chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Nitong Hulyo lang, isa si Cervantes sa mga na-induct sa Philippine Sports Hall of Fame. Iniwan ni Cervantes ang 7 anak at 24 na apo. Sumunod naman araw, pumanaw ang Paralympian na si Josephine Medina sa edad na 51. Kinumpirma ng Philippine Table Tennis Federation Incorporated at Philippine Sports Commission ang balita pero wala pang detalye sa dahilan ng pagpanaw ni Medina. Gumawa ng kasaysayan si Josephine noong 2016 Rio Games bilang ikalawang medalist sa Paralympics. Binasag niya rin ang 16-year drought ng bansa sa quadrennial meet. Tinamaan ng polio si Josephine noong 8 months lang pero hindi ito naging hadlang para maging matagumpay sa sports at maging inspirasyon sa marami. Huwebes din, pumasok sa top 5 ng World Pole Vault Ranking ang Olympian na si EJ Obiena. Kasunod yan ng kanyang second place finish sa Diamond League sa Paris noong linggo. Doon, nabura na naman ni Obiena ang kanyang personal record na siya ring national record matapos maklear ang 5.91 meters. Dahil sa na-beat na record, may 250,000 pesos incentive ang atleta sa Philippine Sports Commission. At yan po ang mga buod ng balitaan sa mundo ng palakasan sa Sports Weekly Highlights. Ang dami pong nangyari and of course tayo po ay nakikiramay sa pamilya ni nasirang Leopoldo Cervantes, isang bayani ng panahon na kailangan po natin ng isang sports hero, at ni Josephine Medina, ang ating pong Paralympian. Si Ma'am Josephine po, naging panauhin pa natin dito sa Power and Play at talaga namang very inspiring ang kanyang naging kwento. Again, ang aming pong pakikiramay sa pamilya ni Sir Leopoldo Cervantes at Ma'am Josephine Medina. Alright, syempre, sa pagsisimula ng ating show, gusto nating malaman ang inyong opinion. So, ang ating gustong pulsuhan ay ito po sa ating Pulso ng Bayan. World Cup ang Pilipinas sa Asian Qualifiers kung saan kasama po natin ang New Zealand, Korea, South Korea at ang India. Kaya po ang ating gustong pulsuhan at basketball pa rin ay ito po sa tingin ninyo mga kapatid ano po ang inyong prediction na magiging record ng Gilas Pilipinas matapos ang 6 na laro sa double round robin? Again ano po ang prediction ninyo sa Gilas Pilipinas na magiging record nila sa FIBA World Cup Asian Qualifiers? Kung gusto niyo po makisama sa ating talakayan, mag-text lamang sa 0908-208-0629 o di kaya ay mag-comment sa Facebook page ng Power and Play o sa Facebook ng 1PH at Radyo 5. Napakaganda ng ating naging group. Of course, hindi pa naman po yan matter of life and death dahil pasok na po ang Pilipinas sa FIBA World Cup. But again, sabi nga ni Coach Tab Baldwin, it is a great opportunity para sa Gilas na matuto, magpalakas at magbigay ng kumpiyansa patungo sa 2023. Kaya po, again, kung gusto niyo po makisama sa ating talakayan, mag-post lamang at ating babasahin mamaya-maya yan. Alright, syempre, ready na tayo sa ating unang panauhin dito sa espesyal na edisyon ng Hitik na Hitik sa Basketball na Sabado. At ang ating po magiging panauhin ay tunay na espesyal. Dito po sa ating special edition ng Fast Take. It's fun to drive. At kasama po natin ngayon, walang iba kung hindi ang Pangulo ng Samahang Basketbol ng Pilipinas, si Mr. Al Panlilio. Magandang umaga, Boss Al.
Magandang umaga, Noli. Ang ganda ng studio mo ngayon. Mas maganda yung studio na yan,
Hindi. Ano lang to, Work from home. Alam mo naman tayo ngayon, lahat naiipit eh. Kita mo nga, hindi na nga ako makapagpagupit, eh.
Pero bagay sa'yo yung puting buhok, bagay,
Medyo mahabol ka la. Kaya
Oo nga,
si Chot, maputi na rin ang buhok. Si Mig Subiri, maputi na rin ang buhok. Mukhang uso
Ano
na
na?
yan sa atin eh.
Lahat tayo tumigil na magpatina. Hindi na usong tina ngayon.
Hindi na uso, Tina. Al, it's good to see you. Thank you so
Same
much
here.
for joining us this morning. I know you're very, very busy, so I'll get right down to the point. Kakatapos lang ng draw ng FIBA
Yes.
World Cup, and it's a wonderful experience for all of us na makita natin yung proseso ng FIBA. Considering na qualified na ang Gilas Pilipinas, ang Pilipinas sa World Cup, anong significance for the SBP and for you nitong ating paglalaro sa qualifiers?
Yeah, it's napaka-importante, Noli, just to say it very, very bluntly, but napaka-importante, no? I think maski qualified na tayo, I think our program has been how do we do better every time that we compete, no? We want to be continually improving. Yun ang target naman natin is to improve every time we play, no? So ang aming objective of course is to, since tayo mag-host sa 2023, ang gusto natin naman, maganda naman yung ating performance nung time na yon. So napaka-importanting learning, developmental experience itong windows, no, na magsa-start sa November. In fact, I have the schedule ready. Hindi ko alam, Noli,
Wow. Sige, please.
November 25, it's Korea, Philippines. I'm not sure lang kung yung una ba yung host country or yung second, no? But November 25, Korea, Philippines. November 28, Korea, Philippines ulit, no?
Wow. Oo.
And then February 25, 2022, it will be India, Philippines. February 28, it will be New Zealand, Philippines. And then June 30, the third window, will be Philippines, India. And then July 3, Philippines, New Zealand. So nakalatag na yung schedule natin. Hindi ko alam ba't inuna nila parehong Korea kaagad, no?
Parang gusto ka agad uminit. So this is a home and away format, no? In other words,
Yes.
pupunta sila dito, tayo pupunta sa kanila.
Correct. That's the plan. Obviously, with this pandemic and this virus, no, hindi natin alam kung ano mangyayari, no. But that is the intention. Like the Asia Qualifiers here, as you recall, di ba, Noli, that was first planned to be played here in February.
Oo.
Tapos hindi natuloy. Nilipat na ng FIBA sa Doha
correct.
ng May ata, if I recall, no. Pero biglang hindi naman sila natuloy. So we had a chance to host it here again, no? In Clark, no, which we played very well there, no. So
Al, before I ask you about the reaction to the group, anong recollection mo? I know that when you were young, you're an avid fan of basketball, naglalaro ka ng basketball. Anong recollection mo dyan sa mga kupunan ng mga kalaban natin? New Zealand, Korea, even India. Alam ko na nung araw kumbaga, sabihin na natin tinatambakan natin yung India, di ba? So, what were your recollection of these teams when you were growing up?
ang New Zealand, parang hindi ko masyadong maalalang we had a lot of games with them, no? Of course, Korea, alam natin ang history ng Korea, no? I mean, marami tayong heartaches sa mga talo natin sa Korea. But lately, I think we've been able to recover from that. I'm sure in November, because of what happened in the FIBA Asia Qualifier, medyo seryosohin na tayo or magiging sila, no? They will be so worried about us, no? And we will be the same, no? India, I think also quite recently that we've been competing with them more often. Pero tama ka, nalalo ko merong laro before, medyo hindi pa sila ganun kagaling. Ngayon naman, I think ang advantage nila, ang lalaki nila ngayon, di ba?
Correct.
So their basics might not be as good yet, pero height-wise, ang lalaki ng mga Indians ngayon, no?
Oo. And alam natin na ngayon ang India is being handled by the former Iranian coach na si Coach Matic, no? So obviously malaki na ang improvement ng team na ito. Again, your reaction Al on the groupings, do you think that this is a favorable grouping? Do you think na medyo maganda ang chance natin dito to move on to the second round?
Well, I think I just want to echo what I think Rudy Fernandez said during the draw, di ba? Lahat ng teams nag-i-improve. Lahat ng teams are preparing really hard, no? So So lahat ng teams na sa Windows ngayon, napakagaling lahat, no? But my reaction to this, I think we only had two groups that we have fallen into, no? Either Group A or Group B. Napakalakas ng Group B, di ba? Australia, China, Japan, Taipei. If ever kasi, instead of Japan, tayo yung nandyan sa
Oo
Group
nga,
B.
oo nga.
So talagang, I think, between the two groups, of course, I'm not saying it's easy. It is easier compared to Group B, no? Of course, New Zealand is always, Australia is what, number 3, I think, in the world already, and they've been playing so well. China is, of course, ahead also of Korea. Taipei, I think, is ahead of India. So in terms of seeding, ranking, FIBA ranking, lamang lahat ng mga teams sa kabila over us, except tayo over Japan, no? So I think mas madali ng konting grupo yung atin. But again, as I said, everybody's improving. Everybody wants to do better in all this competition. So it's a great challenge ahead, and it's exciting, actually.
Actually, it's a very good point that you bring up na hindi na either A or B lang tayo. And obviously,
Yes.
mas maganda na ito napasukan natin sa A. Although yung B, magiging exciting yun kung makakabakbakan natin ulit yung Australia. Marami na mag-aabang no.
I think, if I recall, di ba, the top 3, di ba, goes to the next round, no? So most probably it will be Japan, China, and Australia. And kakalabanin din natin sila, di ba?
Eventually.
I think this will be the second half.
Wag na natin madaliin at magkikita rin tayo down the road. One game to that. I know that it's a packed schedule for the SBP next year. Ang dami nating gagawin na international events. And of course, the basketball calendar ng Pilipinas is also packed next year, no? Mamaya makakausap natin si Attorney Rebo Saguigag ng UAAP, and from early indications, the season will open next year. Ang PBA tuloy-tuloy na. Alam natin yung ibang mga liga rin nagsisimula na all over the world. I talked to Coach Tab, sabi niya the decision on the formation of the national team is beyond his pay grade, nasa higher ups, and it cannot get higher than this sa'yo, Al. What are you considering, and how do you see the formation of the national team moving forward with the schedule in front of us?
Yeah, tama ka, Noli, no? Starting November nga, as I said, meron na tayong games, although it's a window, and then meron ka na naman sa February, meron ka na naman sa June. Then in between that, or I think right after that, will be the FIBA Asia Cup, which is supposed to be held this year, that has been in Jakarta, that we deferred to next year, and then you have the Asian Games, and then you have also the SEA Games sometime in June or July. No, again, the calendar is not set yet, so it's going to be a very, very busy schedule, and then tail end after. I think the fourth window starts sometime in August, if I recall, or September. So talagang full calendar. I guess the challenge for us is how can we keep the team together, no? With the UAAP, as you said, starting in February, and some of our players coming from the collegiate ranks, and then tapos siyempre maraming players na like si 30 na sa Japan, in commitments sa Japan. So it's really going to be we still have to discuss this, but it's going to be a struggle also really for us to keep the team together. That's the challenge. And we will work closely with Tab. He's also, we're also working on a program, a full year program or beyond, in terms of how we can calendar all this. Napakaraming kailangan gawin, Noli. And the challenge is keeping the team together. Yan ang pinaka-problema talaga namin.
President, alam natin that the SBP has always involved all of the stakeholders ng basketball, and are there plans to meet with the UAAP, NCAA, all of the other stakeholders, of course, ang PBA, are there discussions ongoing to perhaps make Gilas Pilipinas a guest team? Tuloy-tuloy ba yung usapan na yan, President Al?
Yes, I think that's been discussed, and we're very open with that. That's why even when I talk to Willie, we continue to explore what we can do. We also, si Ryan Gregorio also helps me out in terms of talking to the collegiate ranks also. And I did say that I'd like to understanding first when they start. I'd like to also sit down with them if that's necessary. Pero maraming kailangan gawin talaga, no? And our objective lang is to really be able to complete a team, no? That's really the challenge for us. Very open. Once I guess we are able to understand the calendar, and then if we can really be part of the PBA, for example, as you said, that will always be part of the plan.
In the meantime, Al, are you satisfied with the way the team is performing and the way the team has been formed? Itong ating national training pool na ngayon ay mostly collegiate players and of course our naturalized players na si Ange Kwame. Are you satisfied with their performance so far?
Yes, very, very satisfied, of course. I mean, I think if sabi ko nga sa dati, no, I think this is a journey for us, no. So we will play well certain times. We might stumble, minsan matatalo tayo, pero I think it's the progression na bali gusto namin gawin na meron itong developmental. And I think during your time, even with SPP, no, yan ang always challenge natin. How do we do better, no? So very happy, obviously, with the performance in the FIBA Asia Cup. They had a very decent performance also in the Jordan Cup. So we're hoping that we will continue that development, heading up to the World Cup talaga in 2023. But really, I have no idea, Noli, how the 2023 team looks like at this point. No? Hindi ko talaga alam. So what we're trying to do is just develop as many players as we can. And marami nangyayari, no? Almost 2 years from now pa tayo, but I guess a little short of 2 years na lang tayo, but in 2 years time, maraming mangyayari, maraming player movements, player discussions, maraming mangyayari sa mga career ng mga players. So kami nga, in a way, parang beggars cannot be choosers, di ba? Kasi it's a commitment coming from the players naman. If they really want to play for the national team, then we will work with them, no? But it starts with their commitment to play for the flag at the end of the day, Noli, no? So kasi kung talagang ang lakas ng intensyon nila maglaro, hanapan nila ng solusyon, di ba? Pero kung medyo hindi sila ganoon ka-committed, then maraming excuse, di ba?
And talking about that, dahil gusto nyo ngang mapalakas ang ating national team, everybody wants that, of course. Meron pa rin bang galaw or initiatives ang SBP na i-push yung agenda tungkol kay Jordan Clarkson, kay Stan Hardinger, kay Stanley Pringle, for instance, na maglaro bilang local with FIBA?
Yeah. I think nagsimula ito nandun ka pa eh. Matagal na. No? So we continue to press it, no? Kasi we have gotten some information in some teams, no, na may mga passports na nakuha beyond 16 for some reason, and we want to understand what has happened there. So we're looking at other situations that can help us and aid us. But yeah, at the end of the day, Noli, these guys are Filipinos, di ba? So we just have to continue to push the I guess our justification to FIBA, no?
All right. Well, going to another front ng basketball, yung 3x3, Al, I know that that's also a priority of the SBP dahil may chance na tayong pumasok sa Olympics din dyan.
Yes. Yes.
Are we strengthening the program? How are we doing this? And alam natin na ibang rules ng 3x3 in terms of eligibility. Are we also considering yung mga hindi pwedeng pumasok sa Gilas, sa 5-on-5 dito sa 3x3 program?
Yes. I think, in fact, in partnership with the PBA, di ba, we were supposed to launch one, except nga itong pandemic, din natin ma-kick off yung 3x3 ng PBA. Now that the PBA started, as you said, no, hopefully in a month, and I think depending si Governor Dicky Bachman ang in charge yan. So maybe in a month we can start the PBA 3x3. And a lot of those PBA 3x3 players are the PBA the draftees who didn't players who didn't make the PBA draft because of some eligibility issues, no. But ito, I think feel to mga ito. Sabi mo nga ibang laro ang 3x3, napaka-physical. Hindi ko alam maski sa kanto natin no, Noli, kung ganyan ka-physical sila, no. Pero
hindi pa.
Grabe yung bungguan nila, no. So plus tama ka, eligibility is very different. So as long as you can show a Philippine passport, pwede ka na sa team. In fact,
that's right.
Andre Blatch nga, pwede natin gawing 3x3. Diba?
Exactly. Yun nga sinasabi ko, pati si Jason Brickman pwede dyan, si Taylor Statham. ang dami pa niyan. So, obviously, malaki ang chance natin dyan. Kahit nga si Marcus Doutit, pwede ibalik dyan. O si Jordan Clarkson, baka pwede na rin, di ba?
Si Jason Brickman is in the Miracle team actually sa
I know. Oo, pero 3x3 siya. Tama. That's
3x3. So, ang balak rin yung mga tao dun sa 3x3 ng PBA kasi di ba kailangan mag-earn ng points di ba?
Yeah,
Ang mga players para ma-qualify sa national team. And even the players of Chooks to go, honestly, yung mga naglaro doon, they are part of the pool in terms of players who can be qualified to the national team. The SBP, of course, will choose the national team once we have a pool of players, no? But yun ang intention is to play more, have more people involved, and it's a different track altogether. We want to create a different pool of players. Just to your point kanina, no? Baka mauna pa tayong makapasok ng Olympics sa 3x3
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned Chooks to go. Mamaya makakusap natin si Coach Aldin Ayo, but it's great to see all of you working together and really putting this team and this program together. Before I let you go, Al, I know that you're also a member of the Philippine Olympic Committee, first vice president of the POC, and obviously, congratulations are in order for all the work that the POC has done at napakagandang performance natin sa Tokyo. I guess just as a very quickly, how do we sustain this success sa Tokyo, and what are your personal, I guess, plans and priorities for the POC?
Yeah, again, I think we just had a board meeting last week, and really first to acknowledge all the Olympians who actually participated in Tokyo, especially the medalists, and we acknowledged everybody from the medalists and the non-medalists. I think it was a great performance for a Philippine team. The first time since we really joined the Olympics, the first Olympic year that we had we had many medals. So talaga lahat kami masaya. No? Of course, lahat tayo masaya. Pero ang mahirap dyan, we also raise the bar, di ba? So we have to do better in Paris 2024, and nagsisimula na kaming magplano ngayon how to do it. I also had an SBP special board meeting this week. Nandun ang aking chairman si Senator Sani Angara, ang aking vice chairman si Congressman Robbie Puno, and I did tell them that even from a Philippine Olympic Committee point of view, and President Bambol Tolentino, of course, is working on this. It's really a public and private sector collaboration, no? Like in basketball, di ba? Sabi mo nga kanina, lahat ng ang gusto ko mangyari as SBP, we all collaborate for the sport. Same thing with the Olympic plans that we have. It has to be a government and private sector initiative to really work together, no? So, kisimula na kami dyan. Actually, looking forward to 2024, and we raised the bar. So we need to do better than that.
Well, you're doing a great job, hindi lamang in the SBP, but of course in the POC, and of course in the MVP Sports Foundation. Everybody working together. Kaya nga minsan nagtataka ako, Al, how do you do it? I mean, sa dami na trabaho mo, including of course being the head honcho ng PLDT Smart, it's just amazing what you've done for Philippine sports.
Well, Nolly, you know this. I believe that no one person can do it. Parang basketball, hindi pwedeng Michael Jordan lang o LeBron, di ba? Yun yung hindi sila nananalo. It's a team. It's a team effort, no? I have a good team in SBP. I think President Bambol has a very good team in the Olympic, a POC, in PLDT Smart. I do have a good team also there. So it's really working with a team, and that's what sport has taught us, di ba? So I'm a firm believer talaga of the values and principles that you learn in sports. You can really apply anywhere in your personal life, in corporate, lahat pwede mong gamitin.
Oo. Well, marami natuto sa iyo ngayong araw na to, Al. Maraming salamat sa panahon na binigay mo sa amin. Good luck, and
salamat,
we'll catch up again.
Yes. Ingat ka parate. Maraming salamat.
Stay safe.
Ingat.
Yan po mga kaibigan ng presidente ng Samahang Basketbol ng Pilipinas, ang presidente rin yata, presidente ng PLDT Smart, and of course ang first vice president ng Philippine Olympic Committee, si Mr. Al S. Panlilio. Wow, talaga namang napaka-busy, but a lot going on sa SPP, and we congratulate again the POC as well as the SPP. Alright mga kapatid, we will take a quick break sa aming pong pagbabalik dito sa Power and Play. Makakasama po natin ang head coach ng Barangay Ginebra Kings live, si Coach Tim Cone. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo. Kailan yung smart skill? Kailan muna? Wala pa.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's T1? Simple, smart ako.
Muli po nagbabalik ang Power and Play. I'd like to say belated happy birthday sa aking anak na si Lexi. Happy birthday. And of course, kay Congressman S.K. Estrella, belated happy birthday as well. At kay Attorney Sunny Nise, aking isang kaibigan sa Ateneo, happy birthday ngayong araw pong ito. Alright, alam niyo po ang PBA ay nagsimula na. And we've had some very exciting results. Some incredible finishes, and more than anything else, it's just great to see basketball action back in our homes, in our television screen. So, I'm happy for the fans, and of course, one of the teams na pinakaabangan muli ay ang Barangay Ginebra. And we have right now in the show no other than the head coach of the Barangay Ginebra Kings, my good friend, Coach Tim Cone. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning. Well, it's been a tough morning. It was a tough night.
I know. But well, first of all, before you get to that, Tim, are you in quarantine? I mean, are you in your own bubble? And where are you staying?
We're staying at the Quest Plus Hotel, and the same one we stayed in the last bubble.
All right.
It's not quite a bubble in terms of what it was last year. It's more of a home-to-home kind of bubble, but. We don't have security outside making sure we don't go anywhere, but we're trusting our guys and our players and everybody. There's a lot of trust around the league that we're doing the right things, and so far so good. Everybody's doing the right things.
Well, I'm going to get to that, but first of all, it's been a play. You started the Philippine Cup back in July, and then we stopped for a month, and here we go. You're given a week to prepare, and then you're back in action. How tough is that for teams, particularly Barangay Ginebra, Coach Tim?
It's been really hard for us, particularly. And I'm sure it's been hard for all the teams. but we made some changes to the team, and we didn't have a whole lot of time. I missed personally the first couple of weeks of practice, and that set us back, and we had injuries to start. And then we started the season off, and we struggled early, no doubt about it, and it's been a little bit frustrating, but that's just something that we're kind of, well, at least personally, I'm kind of used to. We always tell our players every game is different. There's always something different in the game. One game you'll come out and blow a team out, everything will come easy. Then another game you'll start off poorly, you have to wake your way back. There's always, every game is different, and by saying that, also it's also every conference is different. It's got always a different journey. Last bubble we started off 4-0. We just had everything kind of go for us right. We ended up winning the championship, and this bubble is a different journey. We've had struggle from day one. I don't know if anybody knows, but we were in lockdown because we were in COVID protocols for a while. So we went, of the days that we were here, I think 7-8 days, 4 of them, we were down in lockdown in our rooms. We couldn't practice, couldn't do anything. Yeah. So, we only had 3 days of practice since we've been here. So that's also, we haven't been able to get into the kind of shape we want, make the kind of changes we want. So it's been a difficult journey so far, but that's part of it. And
and everybody's going through that.
Pardon me?
And everyone is going through that.
Yeah, everyone's basically going through it. I think we were the only ones that got shut down. Us and Northport were the only two teams that got shut down. Okay. But again, that's part of the journey. We still feel that we're going to, find our way out of this thing and compete for a playoff spot and hopefully for a championship. That's always the goal.
Well, you wanted a good start. Obviously, last night was tough for you. First win by Terra Firma over Ginebra in its franchise history.
Over me. I've never lost to it. I've never lost to Kia also. Even when I was at Pure Foods, I've never lost to Kia. So it was a first career loss for me as well.
Absolutely. Was this a case of, you said that you had a lot of problems getting to the restart. So first of all, what went wrong last night?
Well, they got off to, the kind of start that they wanted because, they were coming in with great belief and confidence coming from the San Miguel win. We knew that. We wanted to come off and make a statement defensively, and we just had a really hard time chasing the little guards around. John Cardell, I think, is doing a great job. They executed really, really well. They ran their plays crisply, and I was just really impressed with the way they reacted defensively. They were very quick to the ball, and we did neither. We weren't executing. We were playing kind of Bahala basketball, we were just, catching and going. And these are things that we've got to correct, and I think we will. But at this point, we're not playing great basketball, and we know it. We all know it, and we're all trying to find reasons to fix it.
Thoughts on Wami Chongson, Tim? He burned Ginebra, he burned San Miguel. This is a guy that did not come out highly regarded. We know he can shoot, but obviously in the last 2 games, he did not only show he can shoot, this guy can lead. What are your thoughts on Wami Chongson?
Well, Wami didn't surprise us. We tried to trade for him after the last bubble. We made some overtures to Terra Firma to try to get Wami over to Ginebra, and they turned us down. They wouldn't let us have him. So, but we made an effort to get him. So we really were excited about him. And in the last bubble, I thought he played extremely well last bubble, and he was kind of under the radar because Terra Firma wasn't winning games, and of course he was playing behind CJ Perez. But with Monzon out and CJ Perez traded, Wami has become the man, and he's shown he's capable. We kept losing him. We knew he was our target. That's the amazing thing. He was our target going into the game because he had 28 points against San Miguel, and still, despite being a target, he still found his way to 31 points. And we had our best defenders at him. We had schemes for him, but it wasn't good enough.
Well, it was his night, obviously, last night. Tim, this is a sprint rather than a long marathon, this particular Philippine Cup. The schedule is compressed. You're playing almost every day, with a few days in between. Is there an adjustment? Is there a different way that you're preparing this team for this conference, given the kind of format and schedule that you have to face in the Philippine Cup?
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, it was, it's similar to the bubble last year, and therefore we've had some experience in that. But still, there's a different feel for this one because of the fact that we came in midway through the conference, and the adjustment has had to be quick for us. And again, we're all going through the same things. And last year, I thought we handled it better probably than everybody else. And this year, other teams are handling it a little better than we are handling it. So, but preparation's more difficult, no doubt. Finding time, because you're scheduled. You don't have control of your own schedules. You're not the one that's scheduling your practices. Can't schedule your video sessions. Everything is scheduled for you in terms of that. So, because it's for you, you have less control over time. Like you can't go out and practice 3 hours or 3.5 if you need it, or do extra shooting practice if you need it. You're stuck into a certain time frame of when you can practice. The video room is only available at a certain time, and for a certain length of time. You can't spend 2 hours or 3 hours in the video room. You've got your 1 hour, and you got to get out because the next team's coming in. So all those things make it a little bit more difficult, especially if you're number one struggling, and which we are, and because we're trying to make adjustments and figure things out. So all those things kind of add up, and but again, it's early. We still have 6 games left. We have the harder part of our schedule coming up, and the challenge is there. But we have a veteran group of guys, and right now they just gotta kind of struggle their way through it. That's all they can do is just struggle and try to win basketball games, try to win 1-point games. That's it. There are not going to be any blowouts at this point.
Well, obviously this is a team that is a little different from last year, but it's still very deep. Although in this particular restart, you lost Joe Devans. Marco Giwa is also not going to be there. Art De La Cruz hasn't played. And obviously these are guys that are veterans. These are guys that keep the team together. How different is this version, Tim, from your championship version last year? And do you think the guys are embracing their roles? Are you satisfied with that?
No. I mean, obviously we can't be satisfied with the way we're playing and with a 2-3 record. And no, we're not anywhere near satisfied with the way we're playing as a group. And again, guys know it. And, like I said, it's just so early for us. I mean, for me, it's like we played our first game. Even though we had 4 games, we only played our first game. It was our first time inside the gym that we played in. We haven't shot there before. And, we would like to make some fundamental changes to some of the things we're doing offensively. But we don't really have the time to work on it. So we've kind of gone back to some of the old stuff, which I'm not sure is effective with this group, with Christian in the mix. And so, like I said, we're going to try to struggle through this. We will get better as we go along, I think, and we'll certainly get better in the future. But right now it's a struggle. We understand that, and I can't overstate the fact that we know what's going on, and we just got to try to find reasons to fix.
All right. You mentioned this a while ago that this is a different bubble that you are in. In fact, you're more responsible. The team, is more responsible for your own bubble. You got to take care. It's really more of personal responsibility. It's not a total bubble of the PBA. Other teams are in other hotels, and obviously in that hotel, it's not completely locked out from other people coming there. The staff go in and out. And we know that there are huge fines that are looming in case of violations. the COVID-19 cases are rising. A variant called Delta is out there, and fortunes can change because of this virus. How tough is this mentally for all of you now that you have to take care of your own fortune?
Well, it certainly takes a lot more discipline than we've had to have in the past. The guys have to be more disciplined, they have to be more aware. Um, uh, you know, again, you're doing things for you. I mean, there's things that the league is not doing as much for you at this point because of the way we're spread out. Uh, and again, the availability of practice venues, availability of video sessions, and things like that. Doing things, we're still doing things at times on Zoom, and so it is more difficult. There's a different feel coming in here. We knew what we were going to get into coming this time around. Last time it was all kind of new and kind of exciting, and we're all wow, back to work, let's go. And this time we were coming up and it's kind of like the same thing. So we're trying to find that deep excitement that we can get to play. I'll tell you one thing. One of the things that the last bubble people talked about was the lack of fans and the lack, not having fans around, and that we actually kind of powered through the fact that we didn't have our normal fans because we were at a high energy level. Now our energies come back not quite as high, and what usually gets us and lifts us is the fans, and we don't have the fans this time. And at this point of the bubble, when you're struggling, that's when you really need the fans. When things are going well, you kind of build on build your own energy. But when you're struggling, it's the fans that help you get up and move forward. And that's, I think, really different for us this time. This is the first time we've really struggled and we haven't had the fans, and it's been a lot harder.
Well, ultimately, Tim, a lot of factors will come in to play in terms of how this this conference will go. But ultimately, what do you think will be the key to success for any team in the Philippine Cup, given all of these conditions?
Well, you got to keep pushing through all the adversity. Like right now, Talking Texas is not going through a whole lot of adversity, and they're at they got great momentum, and they're going through this great sense of momentum. Magnolia has the momentum. We haven't been able to develop the momentum. You've got to just keep pushing through all the adversity that's hitting you. Last conference or last bubble, we just kind of shook it off. Whenever anything bad happened, we just kind of, it's okay. We're good. We're doing, we're playing well. We know each other. We know what we want to do. This conference is, it's a little bit of again, using that word, struggle, but it's different. And but we just got to fight our way through the adversity, keep pushing forward. Can't look back. Can't worry about what's happened. Can't worry about last night. One of our favorite expressions is yesterday ended last night. There's nothing we can do about last night. So we got to put all of our mental focus in moving forward and getting ready for Morocco tomorrow.
Well, that's why the fans love Ginebra so much because, as they say, you're like FPJ. You wanna get all of these struggles out before you start making that run, and that's why Ginebra has always been endeared to the fans. Tim, before I let you go, the NBA has implemented a policy, or thinking about implementing a policy for unvaccinated players and staff. They're trying to make new protocols, separating the vaccinated from the unvaccinated in terms of traveling, dining, locker rooms, and testing. What do you think about that in the PBA? Do you agree with this?
Yes, I do. I think the vaccinations are crucial to what to us moving forward as a not only as a group in the PBA but as a nation going forward. And I think that anything that we can do to encourage vaccinations. I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't trust it. I know my family got their vaccinations very, very early, as early as we possibly could, because we just, knew that we wanted to have the freedom to move and do and relive our lives. So I'm a big believer in the vaccine and having everybody do it. I think that there's a certain level of unselfishness doing the vaccine. Our team is totally vaccinated, so we're really happy about our team. And most that I know on the PBA, I know that they've worked really hard to try to get all the vaccinations. It's not only NBA, but it's Major League Baseball, it's NFL. I know it's soccer in Europe. It's all around the world, and I think the PBA would be, really, it would be really great if they came out and made a statement about the vaccine.
Well, I'm sure that the PBA is doing everything it can to make sure that everyone is safe, and we certainly hope that. I certainly hope so for you as well, and of course your family. Tim, before I say goodbye, the fans are missing the action live. Of course, they're watching it on TV, but more than that, they're also missing your ties. You think that your ties will be back ever in the PBA?
Well, we've made a decision that until the fans come back, we're not going to wear ties. That's been our, we said that amongst the coaching staff. We'll put the ties back on when the fans come back. So
that's good.
That's the thing. So, it's a little bit harder to have a whole bunch of, in the bubble, in your hotel, have a line of shirts and a line of ties.
Exactly.
You don't have much space, so it's a little bit more difficult to wear. But even when we were in Manila, when we were playing down there, we didn't put the ties on because the fans weren't back yet. So when the fans get back, the ties will come back on. That's for sure.
And we'll be looking forward to the ties because that means...
I'm looking forward to it too. I'm looking forward to the ties, but more important, I'm looking forward to the fans.
And we're looking forward to the next game of Barangay Ginebra. Coach Tim, thank you so much for your time today. Good luck. Stay safe in the Philippine Cup.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yan po mga kaibigan, the winningest coach in the PBA, no other than Coach Tim Cone ng Barangay Ginebra. Too early. Yan ang message yan. It's too early. The struggles are there, but obviously it's still too early to tell, and marami pang mangyayari. A lot of things will happen in the PBA Philippine Cup. All right, bago po natin ipasok ating susunod na panuhin, let's take a break. May bago po kaming portion dito sa Power and Play. Ito po ay ang aming pagmamasid sa pop culture ng sports. Sa pamamagitan po ng mga trending at saka mga viral videos. Ito po ang tinatawag naming Stop and Pop. Ito mga kapatid, ito po sigurado nangyari natin sa inyo ng nakaraan. I-roll natin ang ating video. Ito po yung madalas na pag naglalaro kayo, ayun, nawiwedji yung bola, at gusto nating batuhin ng ating kung ano-ano para matanggal yan kung maikli ka, lalo na kung maliit ka. Kaya lang, si Kuya medyo iba't iba na ang ginamit, gumamit pa ng sapatos. Yun nga lang, kapag minalas ka, pati sapatos mo, baka ma-stuck din doon sa ibabaw ng board. Yan po ang ating stop and pop moment sa inyong Power and Play. Alright, marami pa tayong feature na ganyan. Tuloy-tuloy dito sa ating palatuntunan today and in the many weeks to come. At this point, pasok na natin ang ating susunod na panauhin. From the winningest coach in the PBA, perhaps to the most colorful in the collegiate ranks, and maybe one of the most brilliant minds as well. Siya po ngayon ang head trainer ng programa ng Chooks to Go para po tulungan ang ating bansa na makakuha ng napakahalagang puntos para sa 3x3 para po sa pag-qualify natin sa susunod na Olimpiada. Ito po ang aming panayam kagabi. Kasama walang iba kung hindi ang head trainer ng Chooks to Go 3x3 national team na lumalaban ngayon sa FIBA 3x3 Montreal Masters, si Coach Aldin Ayo. At kagaya na po na nabanggit natin, lumalaban ngayon ang ating koponan sa Montreal Masters doon po sa 3x3 ng FIBA. At ang ating kasama ngayon, of course, the head trainer ng Chooks 3x3 national team na lumalaban po doon. Walang iba kundi si Coach Aldin Ayo. Coach Aldin, magandang araw sa iyo. Maraming salamat sa pagpapaunlak mo sa amin.
Good evening po, Com. And good evening po sa mga nanonood sa Power and Play.
Alam mo, nakakatuwa na you're very, very active. Alam naman natin kung gaano kagaling mga kapatid si Coach Aldin na bench tactician. At ako natutuwa talaga, Coach Aldin, na you're very involved sa ating national team program. Tanungin ko muna ikaw, alam ko na hindi ka sumama sa Montreal dahil sa decision mo na rin, no? Pero kamusta ang ating team na ngayon ay lalaban sa Montreal Masters? Naka-quarantine ba sila, Coach?
Sa ngayon, naka-quarantine pa and swab test ata sila. And ngayon, paggising nila, doon pa lang malalaman yung result. Pero yun, naka-quarantine sila and gumagawa sila ngayon ng mga individual training nila.
Are you in touch with them, Coach Aldin, directly? Dahil alam natin na ikaw ay naririto sa Pilipinas, but are you in touch with them at namomonitor mo? Even yung jet lag, meron bang jet lag yung ating mga bataan?
Wala naman, medyo excited nga mga yon. Medyo maganda yung naging travel nila. Then before they left, we had our Zoom meeting, yung mga last na mga reminders sa preparation.
Alam natin, Coach Aldin, na ang ating kupunan ay 11th seed out of 12. So medyo underdog tayo. At ang ating kagrupo ay hindi mahina. Puro mga bigating kupunan mula sa Belgium at sa Canada. I guess ang tanong is, ano ang ating game plan, Coach, with respect dito sa mga mas may karanasan at mas malalaking kupunan dyan sa Montreal Masters?
Yung first game natin against Antwerp, medyo familiar tayo dun sa mga players nila kasi hindi sila nagpalit ng mga players. So we were able to scout them. We were able to study their individual tendencies. Tama, underdog tayo because mga maliliit tayo and in terms of experience, mas experience ang mga to kasi matagal na sila nasa 3x3. Pero we were able to prepare naman na kung anong merong laro yung mga players, may lalabas natin, may ilagay natin yung mga players sa tamang spots and situations na para makapaglaro sila na maayos.
Alright. Well, alam natin na itong koponan na to, bagamat sa 3x3, hindi masyadong mahaba ang karanasan, pero sa basketball, mga veterano to, no? Marky, Mactalio, of course, si Chico Lanete, Benny Santos, at saka si Zachary Wang. Coach, ano ang pinaka, sa tingin mo, strength ng ating team? At saka ano ba mga roles nitong ating mga players dun sa binuo mong team dyan sa Montreal Masters?
One of the strengths of this team is yung chemistry. Kasi nakita namin kung paano nag-surrender yung mga players dun sa sistema na pinapa-implement namin. And pangalawa, siguro yung mentality na alam ng mga players na underdog. So they are more motivated na kung ano man yung kakulangan in terms of height and in terms of kung gaano kalaki, pupunuan na lang siguro ng effort yan. Pupunuan na lang siguro ng determination to win.
Alright. Of course, itong panahon ng pandemya, medyo limitado ang ating pag-iensayo. Isa na namang problema yan at maaaring maging disadvantage compared sa ibang mga bansa dahil karamihan sa ibang bansa naglalaro na, lalong-lalo na sa Amerika at sa Europa. How are you satisfied sa preparations ninyo patungo dito sa leg na to?
Hindi naman excuse yun. Halos lahat naman nakaka-experience ng mga ganito. Pero we had our preparation kasi nung May, nung papunta sa Croatia. Nagkaroon kami ng 8-day na bubble training sa Lucena and maganda sana yung preparation namin nun. Unfortunately, na-postpone because of sa visa. And after that, puro na lang kami Zoom meeting, Zoom training. Pero good thing na yung past 2 or 3 weeks, na-approve yung training namin dito sa Sorsogon. So
Mhm.
we were able to go here.
Oh.
We had our team building, and sa team building naman na yun, nagkaroon din kami ng training dito sa amin with the approval of the provincial and Sorsogon local government. Then of course, the tanggap. So nagpapasalamat kami kay Mitra for approving the training here.
Well, that's good news para sa ating mga fans ng 3x3 dahil alam po natin mga kapatid na ito pong ginagawa ng Chooks to Go 3x3 national team ay napakahalaga para sa ating points para maka-qualify sa mga susunod na laban and of course sa Olimpiada in 2024. Added pressure ba yan, Coach Aldin, sa inyo na ito ay of course napakahalaga kahit na ito ay isang leg lamang o isang torneo, but again the points are very important. What is the mindset ng inyong koponan with this scenario?
Lahat naman ng ginagawa namin ngayon, lahat ng ginagawa dito geared towards dun sa main objective, which is yung 2024 na Paris Olympics. So every win, every participation sa mga competitions, may nakukuha tayong points na we have to accumulate para doon sa ranking makatulong sa atin. So yun ang ginagawa natin.
Well, Coach, alam ko na naglaro din kayo. The last time na naglaro ang inyong team was in March, noong Doha Masters. Meron ba kayong mga natutunan na mga leksyon doon na napakahalaga at ngayon ay sa tingin nyo makakatulong dito ang kampanya natin sa Montreal Masters?
Madami. Kasi syempre first tournament yun. Lahat nag-a-adjust. Kasi most of these players galing sa 5 versus 5. So iba kasi yung 5 versus 5 sa 3x3. Madaming natututunan. Isa na dun yung syempre yung adjustment sa depensa kasi masyado maluwag kasi 3 lang. Pero basically kasi almost the same skill sets both on offense and defense pero different approach lang.
All right. Well, Coach, alam natin na in the past ang Chooks to Go naging very very instrumental sa ating pagtungtong even dun sa Olympic qualifier at marami tayong na-develop na napakagagaling na mga 3x3 players kasama na diyan ay sila of course sila Joshua Monson at si Alvin Pasaol na ngayon ay nasa professional league na. Obviously, hindi naman natin mapagkakaila na mas mababa ang level ng talent nito compared to the past, no? Are there any plans mula sa Chooks, Coach Aldin, na mag-recruit ng panibagong mga players for the future? Are you already coming up with a blueprint para sa programa na makakatulong sa ating pagkuha nga ng mga puntos na napakahalaga para makakwalify sa Olimpiada?
Right now, yung priority po namin is to develop these players. Right now, kung titingnan natin, mga hindi kilala yung mga players na meron sa atin. Pero ito naman yung mga players na willing to learn, magaganda yung ugali. Pero what we have right now is 4 pa lang na players eh. So may room pa na makakuha pa ng 4 pa na players kasi ang plano ng Chooks magkaroon ng 8 players. Mm-hmm. So naghahanap pa tayo doon sa 4 na pwedeng pumuno. Pero we're just maximizing what we have right now. Pero so far sa team kasi natin ang kulang na lang dito isang big man eh. And maganda na nakuha natin si Marky. Although he is undersized kasi big man siya pero 6'2" lang. Mm-hmm. Pero punong-puno naman ng experience and maganda yung ugali. Tapos veterano.
We know that iba ang rules ng 3x3, no? Ng FIBA 3x3 compared sa 5-on-5 in terms of eligibility, no? Even yung mga hindi pwedeng maglaro na foreigners sa 5-on-5 ay nakakalaro sa 3x3. Meron bang intensyon ng Chooks na itap itong resource na to? We know for instance si Taylor Statham ay hindi makapaglaro sa PBA dahil sa kakulangan ng mga papeles, but he is also a rated player sa atin in 3x3. Pagdating naman sa mga naturalized players natin, available din naman yung mga tinatawag nating na-naturalized na natin, no? Andre Blatch being one of them. Is that even part of the consideration, Coach? Kasi parang magandang tingnan na pwede natin talagang palakasin ang ating kupunan.
Based on my conversation with Boss Melma, priority talaga natin yung mga homegrown. So, hahanap tayo dito ng mga pure Pinoy na mag-represent ng bansa natin. Na I think meron naman, kaya naman ng mga homegrown. We just have to look for them and again, we have to develop them.
All right. Well, that's a noble purpose at sana nga ay meron tayong makuhang mga bata na makatulong sa atin sa national team. In that regard, tuloy-tuloy ba ang plano ng Chooks na magkaroon ng domestic leagues ulit dito sa ating bansa, Coach Aldin?
Yes, may local league na ino-organize yung Chooks. I think third week ata ng September. Di ko pa alam mo yung exact date. So after that, October meron namang mga international na mga tournaments. So tuloy-tuloy yung participation and pag-organize ng Chooks ng mga 3x3 na mga na tournament.
Coach, before I let you go, of course, marami ang nagtatanong, makikita ba natin uli ikaw sa pagko-coach ng collegiate at ng iba't iba pa mga liga? Because marami nang nakaka-miss sa Coach Aldin Ayo na talaga namang hinangaan ng napakarami nung siya ay nasa UAAP.
Of course, nag-aantay po ako ng resulta ng appeal ko sa UAAP. I'm patiently waiting for the ma-reconsider po ng mga Board of Trustees and yung mga Board of Managing Directors yung appeal ko. And aside from the UAAP, meron din po sa MPBL na hopefully maka-umpisa na rin kasi madami rin mga players and coaches na nag-aantay ng opportunity ng mga pagtrabaho ulit na magawa ulit yung mga bagay na mahal namin gawin, which is yung mag-coach tapos yung maglaro maglaro ng basketball. So thank you very much po.
Coach Aldin, ang tagal na nating walang basketball sa collegiate leagues and obviously marami nang naghahanap. Ikaw ba, what do you miss most sa pagko-coach ngayong na talagang matagal ka nang hindi natutungtong sa basketball court in an official game?
Iba yung college basketball. Makita mo yung support ng mga schools, ng mga students. Iba yung adrenaline pag college tournament. And of course, syempre, dito sa 3x3, we are excited also kasi we are representing our country na sa ngayon, madaming nahihinto, madaming nag-aantay kung ano yung mangyayari. So, at least sana makabigay kami ng kaligayahan sa mga kababayan natin na ma-entertain sila.
Well, we certainly are hoping that maganda ang ating makita sa pagsisimula ng ating kupunan. This will be on Sunday morning. Lalaban na ang ating kupunan. And we wish you all the best, Coach Aldin. Balitaan mo kami kung ano mangyayari dyan sa ating national team. Maraming salamat, Coach Aldin.
Opo. Thank you very much din po, Kom. You're welcome po. Thank you very much po.
po mga kaibigan, ang head trainer ng Chooks to Go 3x3 national team na ngayon ay lumalaban sa Montreal, Canada para po sa FIBA 3x3 Montreal Masters. Pagdasal po rin natin yan, kupunan pa rin natin, dala ang ating pangalan and hopefully kahit pa paano makakuha tayo ng puntos doon. It's a tough tournament offering $110,000 as a prize money, $40,000 to the winner, and of course the valuable points. Coach Aldin Ayo, of course, has been one of the most colorful and love it or hate him, magaling pong coach talaga si Coach Aldin, and we certainly hope that he finds his place back in the coaching scene. All right, bago tayo mag-break, isang paalala lang po mula sa Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Giga Life app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Bro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Giga Life app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption, auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to the Smart Network, one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. At ang Power and Play is of course powered by Smart. All right, when we come back from this break, ang ating po makakausap ang Executive Director ng UAAP, si Attorney Rebo Saguigag, at in the spotlight mamaya, pag-uusapan natin ang pagpasok ng New Clark City Athletic Stadium sa World Architectural Festival Awards kasama ni Architect Royal Pineda. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's D1? Simple, smart ako.
Mayong aga sa lahat po ng ating mga nanonood sa Signal TV 1PH, Channel 1 sa Signal TV po yan. Lalong-lalo na sa Bacolod City kay Alex Fuentes at lahat po na maagang mga nakatutok sa atin dito sa Power and Play mula sa Canbanwa, Argao, Cebu, si Jensalan Rosin, Errol Grimares, Vertifat at marami pa pong iba. Marami pong salamat sa inyong pagtutok. Kay Jared Ansaldo, sabi niya, would you raise or discuss esports issues on your show dahil yun daw ating Philippine team ay na-deny ng opportunity dahil nawalan sila ng visa. They were supposed to play in Germany. Tingnan natin kung mai-feature po yan natin sa mga susunod na linggo. Alright, bago po tayo magpatuloy, pasasalamat lang po sa ating mga tagapagtaguyod na kung wala po sa kanila, wala rin ang Power and Play. Una sa lahat, of course, Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon, mga kapatid, sobrang init tapos biglang uulan, kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pangmatagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Marami din po salamat of course sa ating pinakabagong sponsor, ang Cherry Tigo. Paano mo masasabing nakaka-enjoy i-drive ang sasakyan mo? Isa lang ang sagot ko dyan. Siyempre, kapag ang minamaneho mo ay Cherry Tigo 7 Pro. Luxurious ang exteriors at comfort-filled naman ang interiors. Intelligent dahil meron itong automatic tailgate opening, engine start at climate control na pwede mong makontrol using its smart key. Perfect pa pang long drive dahil meron itong large sunroof, HD touchscreen, wireless mobile charging at 360 around view monitoring. Pro na pro ka with the Tigo 7 Pro dahil available na rin ito for as low as 88,000 pesos all in. Hanggang 120,000 din ang cash discounts exclusive ngayong September. Open pa for free test drives kaya ischedule mo na ang appointment sa Cherry Dealer today. Cherry Tigo 7 Pro, fun to drive. Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Dahil ayaw naming nahihirapan ka, book Joyride MC Taxi now and experience hassle-free commute. And it's never too early to start getting ready for the holidays. Now's the right time to plan the perfect gifts for your loved ones to avoid the holiday rush. For all your delivery needs this coming holiday season, Joyride Super App is here. Now available in Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, Laguna, Bago, and soon in Bulacan. Download the Joyride Super App now. Elms Resto Bar Group, home of fried itik with branches at Elms Tapas and Winery located in Calle Bistro, Commonwealth, Quezon City, and Elms Grill and Bar in Poblacion, Makati. You may call 0977-157-0499, 0966-854-4048, or visit their FB and IG pages at Elms Resto Bar Group for reservations and inquiries. Skin, your face and body anti-aging center with branches at Wilson Street, San Juan City, and Alabang Town Center, Muntinlupa City. For inquiries, please call 0917-890-1640 or 0977-809-8886. Presiderm, your most trusted skincare. Mga kaibigan, sa panahon ngayon, sa gitna ng pandemya, higit nating kailangan ang mga taong ating maasahan, mga lugar na makakapagbigay sa atin ng kaligtasan, mga bagay na ating kakapitan sa anumang oras. Yung sigurado, yung pwede nating tawaging most trusted. Parang Presiderm, your most trusted skincare. ASEA Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. ASEA Subic Beach Resort. Gusto rin po namin pasalamat sa The Umami Bowl, your go-to for Japanese rice bowls. Likhabi, weave by weave, hand in hand. Check out their IG and FB pages. And Power and Play is of course powered by Smart. Live Smart. Maraming pong salamat sa lahat ng tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. And of course, at this point, mga kapatid, bago natin ipasok ang ating susunod na panauhin, puntahan muna natin ang ating isang punto sa nakaraan, ang ating This Week in Sports History. September 1, 1972 or 49 years ago, sa tinaguriang Match of the Century, tinalo ni Bobby Fischer si Boris Spassky sa World Chess Championship. Ang nooy 29-year-old na si Fischer ang naging unang Amerikano na nanalo sa tournament mula noong buksan ito noong 1866. Siya rin ang tumapos sa 24-year reign ng mga Ruso sa World Championship. Ang laban ni na Fisher at ng nooy reigning world champion ang sinasabing most publicized chess match sa kasaysayan. Nag-uwi ng higit $156,000 na prize money si Fisher matapos ang panalo. Bobby Fischer becomes the first American to win the World Chess Championship by ending the Russians' reign this week in sports history. Grabe yan. Batang-bata pa tayo dyan, pero Bobby Fischer was a legend. At talagang hanggang ngayon, kumbaga, pag pinasinasabi mong Bobby Fischer, synonymous yan sa brilliance and maybe eccentricity. Alright, tuloy-tuloy po ang usapang basketball dito sa Power and Play. And of course, yung mga nakakamiss sa collegiate sports. Ano ba nga ang plano ba ng mga collegiate sports katulad ng UAAP? And right now, we have with us the Executive Director ng UAAP. Walang iba kung hindi si Attorney Rebo Saguigag. Kasama natin ngayon, walang iba kung hindi ang Executive Director ng UAAP. Walang iba kundi si Konsihal, Attorney Rebo Saguigag. Konsi, magandang araw sa iyo. Thank you for joining us sa Power and Play ulit.
No, it's my honor and privilege to be here. So good day to everyone. Kakamiss po kayo at I also miss you, for the record.
Ako rin, talagang miss kong hindi lang ang UAAP but ikaw because I always see you there in the sidelines and and of course I'm wishing you all well, including the Senator Rene. I hope you can extend our regards to him. Alam mo, let's go straight to the topic, Attorney Repo. It's about the UAAP, but let me go first before I go to your plans kasi meron mga naisulat na rin naman. But before I get to that, I want to get into the bigger picture, the philosophy, no? Kasi alam mo, kahit papaano we can see that many leagues have already opened up. Nakita na natin ang PVL, nagbukas na ang MPBL, PBA, nagkakabukas lang. And we know these are all pro leagues, no? But if you look at the Olympics in that magnitude, and hindi natin masasabing mga professional lahat yan, but there are also some amateur athletes there, no? So, ang tanong ko lang muna, siguro just to lay the groundwork here, Attorney Rebo, is what is the thinking ng UAAP? When you talk about this with the schools, the member schools, what is the big picture thinking ng UAAP insofar as restarting sports once again sa level ng collegiate sports?
Okay, siguro, well, I cannot really speak for the league naman, but I think this much I can say. Initially, of course, let's talk about March 2020, when the pandemic initially started. The top heads of the schools talagang were very conservative, if I may say, no? Talagang naig yung kanilang accountability, responsibility, and liability over each and every student athlete, no? Kasi emphasis on student. Kasi as you mentioned, the professional athletes, yung mga ibang nabanggit natin, professional leagues where they're paid to play, that is the reason for being. Now, for the student athlete, yung sports is actually, in the point of view of the schools, it's actually a student activity. It is an extracurricular activity. Now, for as long as walang face-to-face classes, medyo nag-aalangan talaga sila, it being part of only being part and parcel of the whole educational process. However, that being said, nabanggit mo rin kanina yung development ng Olympics, but not only just the Olympics, pati yung Gilas, no? Which is actually composed of not only amateur but UAP. Actually, ang tukso nga, Ateneo one school nga lang So, I think that the thinking has changed and the science has come in. And okay, ipasok na natin sa Olympics. Talagang we now know, I think it's undisputed, tayong dalawa will agree on this, but sports really has a big role in the health of the nation. It inspires, it's a source of diversion. So I'm really, I think ang schools ngayon has changed in a matter of 1 year. Nagbago na yung paningin. But of course, again, we really have to make sure pa rin yung safety of each and every student athlete. So that's why naninigurado lang kami. But it has changed, no? From very conservative to now being very open.
Alright. Because alam mo, ang pananaw ko is that kung gusto ng isang grupo or organisasyon na talagang magsimula yan, lahat gagawin nila. Alam natin ang nangyari sa Olympics, marami ding tumutol dyan, maraming taga-Japan na ayaw na ituloy yan. But, the IOC, of course, knew that sports would be a big boost, not only to the sporting community, but also to the psyche of the world, no, na natuloy ang Olimpiada. So ito, tanong ko lang, ito sa aking malikot na utak, Attorney Rebo, hindi naman ba ito rason na financial? Meaning, alam naman natin na ako kasi also I am involved in the educational industry. Alam ko na maraming private schools ang nagkakaproblema, no, because of this pandemic. But is there any kind of connection here with that? Kaya hindi rin masyadong naipupush ang pagsisimula ng collegiate sports?
Okay, I cannot speak naman for each member school, no, walo yan eh. But this much I can say, hindi yan masyadong napag-usapan. The main concern really was yung responsibility, liability, accountability, yung in loco parentis, no? Alam niyo naman yan, parang family code provision yan over
Correct.
Our student athletes. Yung main concern talaga is more on that, not really financial, because yung financial, mabuti na bring up nyo Comna, because yung financial, sabi, magastos siguro, but if you really think about it, na-realize namin yung even if it's a bubble, yung mga eskwelahan talaga namang may naka-earmark na budget yan for the lodging and the food of the student athlete. So, pasok talaga siya. Tapos not only that, pati yung emotional part daw, no, yung mga professional athletes natin na nahirapan yung ibang PBA players. But we have to remember, na-realize namin, mga padre de pamilya ito. Of course, initially, yung mga bata, uwi muna yan. I'm talking about March 2020. But after a year, sanay naman itong mga bata to be away from their families for extended periods of time. So we actually realized, kung merong maka-pull off nito, the UAP is actually one of the organizations that's actually built for this kind of format, no, yung bubble type. Kasi andyan na yung dorms andyan na yung eskwelahan, andyan na yung budget for the food and the lodging, no? So it's not really, it can be may konting epekto syempre because of the effect on enrollment, etc. But it's a relatively minor issue as opposed to the accountability. Yeah.
I'm very happy na nabanggit mo yan, Attorney Rebo, because obviously, if we see the big picture and the willingness ng UAAP, especially its member schools, to really restart the season, then I think it will happen, because that's really the first step moving forward and going to the next step. So ang tanong dito is, ano ang dapat gawin para makabalik ang UAAP season? No, I read somewhere that you have already actually crafted protocols that was supposed to be submitted to the CHED, to the DepEd, to the PSC, and the GAP. Can you update us on this? And ito ba yung iniintay ninyo para kahit paano maitulak itong agendang ito?
Yes, definitely. Yun na nga. Again, mabuti na banggit niyo ulit. Kasi aside from the other institutions, the GAB or kami answerable to CHED. Again, because these are student athletes. But yes, definitely. And we're happy naman that the PSC helped us, GAB helped us, as well as the CHED in crafting these protocols. So, approval na lang yan. Nagkaroon na ng konting glitch because as you remember, yung timeline, no, by sometime nag-March, nagkaroon tayo ng Season 2 ng ECQ. Tapos mid-August, nagkaroon na naman tayo ng Season 3 ng ECQ. So medyo naantala lang. However, yun na nga. But even if nangyayari yan, we continue to consult with the experts who have actually done it. So we talked with the representatives ng SBP sa Clark, pati sa PBA. And ang kailangan lang nating emphasize and for people to understand na rin nga, pag nagre-reopen tayo, iba kasi yung general public health concern when you open the restaurants and the malls as opposed to opening a bubble, which is actually a sports bubble, to be specific, which is actually a controlled environment. So once the people realize that, na mas control talaga namin yung sports bubble, I would even argue that keeping the student athletes in these sports bubbles could actually be safer, no? It could actually be for their better interest rather than nandun sila sa kanilang probinsya na hindi natin alam paano sila nagpa-practice sa kanilang protocols. So yun yung approval na lang nito mga protocols which we continue to refine to this day. So once that's cleared, sana dire-diretso na.
Well, I totally agree with you, ED Rebo, na talagang a bubble is really a lot safer in this sense, no? Na
yes, in this sense.
Maglaro-laro tayo together. In fact, I have my own doubts about a semi-bubble type or a closed circuit type. I really have my own misgivings though. Now, let me go to these protocols na binabanggit mo, ED Rebo. does this mean that it is kinukonsider ng UAAP is really a bubble, number one? Number two, what is the policy that you're looking at in terms of vaccination?
Well, yung sa bubble, yun talaga ang tinitingnan namin. Tama kay parang ang tingin na iba, there's no such thing as it's either you have a bubble or you don't eh. So kaya tingin namin na talagang dapat bubble. Number two, sa vaccination, yun din, buti nabanggit yung no. Yun din pala nakadagdag to think in our favor because the vaccination is actually a game changer. Now, on that point, pagpunta namin sa IATF, we will make it part of the, we'll be part of the requirements for everyone involved to be vaccinated. Kailangan talaga. But it doesn't mean that we will do away with the other minimum public health standards. In fact, addition lang siya. We will adopt everything, be strict about everything, and add the requirement of vaccination for everyone involved.
Of course, hindi naman lahat ng sports, obviously, Rebo, is kailangan ng bubble. No? There are certain sports ninyo that kaya nyo tapusin in one day, kaya nyo tapusin in maybe a weekend. No? So hindi naman siguro lahat. No? So does this mean na there are certain sports na nakikita ninyong hindi makakasama sa season? What is the plan do sa 16 sports ninyo?
Well, ideally, I cannot commit pa na yet, but definitely, ang problema lang naman namin dyan kasi pag pinagsabay-sabay mo rin sila sa campus. Kasi right now, ayaw din naman, the coaches are, Zoom training or online training is good in terms of maintaining physical fitness, pero iba pa rin yung yung scrimmage or yung at least magkita-kita sila ng actual. So yun yung isang challenge namin. I still cannot commit which events, but in an ideal scenario, we would still like to hold all events if possible. Maybe not in the full, yung iba may na baka pwedeng paikliin pa. That's like maybe an Olympics or a SEA Games format na in 2 weeks tapos tayo lahat. No? At least some of the events. So yun ang mga option na titingnan namin. Yeah.
All right. Well, pinag-uusapan yung events na maaaring masama sa Season 84. Of course, the big news and the big plea galing kay Heidelin Diaz na isama yung weightlifting, and of course there is also a clamor dahil nga sa napakagandang ipinakita sa Olympics ng boxing na maisama din ang larong boxing sa UAAP calendar. You have mentioned certain things about this. What is the latest, Attorney Rebo? Is this seriously going to be considered, and what are the processes bago ito maging UAAP event?
In fact, I already met Heidelin before, right after Rio, I believe. And na-bring up na yung weightlifting to be included in the calendar. However, actually marami na nakapila eh. A lot of events really want to be part of us. Ngayon, from the league standpoint, well, I wouldn't say wala namang problema, but at the,
Alright mga kaibigan, medyo nagkaroon tayo ng konting technical problem tila sa ating interview with Attorney Rebo. Let's see kung ating pong may babalik. Magkaroon lang tayo ng konting issue sa ating technical doon po sa studio. But siya po, ang aming po pag-uusap na yan ay kasama na rin yung kanilang naging policy tungkol sa cap on incentives na maibibigay ng mga paaralan sa UAAP sa mga nire-recruit nila mga player na nabanggit rin po yan ni Attorney Rebo. Pinag-usapan din namin of course ang kanilang stand sa pagpapahiram ng mga players sa Gilas Pilipinas, and of course ang kanilang reaction niya dun sa mga players naman na nagpupunta sa iba't ibang mga liga abroad. No? So we will try to get back part of that interview kung tayo po ay may panahon. But again, Attorney Rebo talking about the restart ng UAAP that may happen very sometime in early part of the first quarter ng taong 2022. Kaya po excited na rin tayo dyan dahil ang tagal na rin nating na-miss ang UAAP. Alright. Siguro medyo nagkaroon ng tingnan natin kung mababalikan natin yan but at this point mas mahalaga sa akin ang patuloy po na pagpapahalaga natin sa kaligtasan ng ating mga kabataan. Maraming mga magulang, of course, ang nagsasabi na bago yung mga sports na yan, pag-aaral muna. Kung hindi nga nakakapag face-to-face, bakit naman hindi mo na gamitin, bakit kailangan pumasok agad ang sports? But again, iba po ang pananaw ng iba dahil ang sports naman ay meron ding kahulugan sa buhay ng mga student athletes natin. Alright, ngayon medyo basahin muna natin habang iniintay natin na pag-aayos ng ating feed. Basahin po na natin yung mga nagpadala ng kanilang, mukhang okay na. Sige, ituloy na natin ang ating interview. Bago natin basahin ang pulso ng bayan, ituloy na po natin ang ating interview with Attorney Rebo Saguigag.
Part of us. Ngayon, from the league standpoint, well, I wouldn't say wala namang problema, but it's mas madali from our part, no? Kasi ang gagawin lang naman namin is to hold an event. The bigger issue now is whether or not may sasali ba. What I mean by this is, can the schools actually set up new teams and again maintain these new teams? Kasi kami mag-organize lang kami palaro eh. Sila, that would mean a lot of scholarships again, uniforms, dorms as I mentioned, allowances, etc., and probably, definitely coaching. So yun yung tanong, will we have enough schools to join the event? So normally, ang mga nangyayari pagka ganyan, pag hindi pa talaga kaya, pag kami nagpe-present, minsan we ask the NSA or maybe a patron to maybe subsidize siguro, no? Yung mga teams, at least in the initial stages, and for it to become a demo sport.
Yun.
Now once, pag kinagat siya, if we have at least 4 teams, tapos maganda yung reception, then we have a chance of it being a regular sport. But that being said, talagang maganda rin na nahirig tayo ng konti, no? Nagising tayo because if these are really 2 sports that we can excel, talaga it's really time to revisit. No, it's really worth talking about, and definitely yes, we are seriously considering it without necessarily committing at present because again, no, yung on a normal year, hirap na nga yung because of the finances, but now nabanggit mo because of the complication brought about by the pandemic, baka hindi pa ngayon. Definitely malabo for history before, but it's definitely we can talk about. It's there.
At magandang magandang balita yan para sa napakaraming mga atleta na gusto naman pumasok dyan. And of course, sabi mo nga, it will now take a lot of recruitment. And let me go to this topic right now, itong recruitment. I understand that the UAAP has come up with a policy na limiting the kind of incentives that can be offered by schools to players that they are recruiting. Is this going to be implementable this coming season? And how do you execute this? Una-una, what are these caps? Very briefly, Attorney Rebo, and how do you implement this? Alam naman natin dito, maraming palusutan na naman. So, paano ba yan?
Okay, nandun dyan. No? Well, the idea is kasi, the presidents wanted to equalize, to standardize everything. No? I mean, at least to make an effort, and then to make a stand. So, gusto sana namin, all things being equal, ang talagang choice of school mo should be limited to because of academics. You believe in their program. No? If it's business, normally people would think about Tasal. Pag dentistry, you have UE and NU, probably like that. Pag arts, then you go to Ateneo or the sports program. Because you believe in Coach Tab, you go to Ateneo. Wala na masyado sana yung mga extracurricular. So, syempre, dun yung mga under the SAPA, the Student Athletes Protection Act, ang nabanggit naman dun yung sa lodging, no? May limit kami, may cap kami binigay doon, and then of course yung sa food allowances, etc. Ngayon, mabuti yung tanong mo, yung execution implementable. I mean, we hope that it will be in effect by season 84. Tanong is paano execution, and I'm sure marami namang mag-bash, and it will be definitely very hard. No? But I think it's a start. No? We have to take a stand, and we have to work from there. Hindi naman pwede yung at least we believe in hindi naman pwede dahil mahirap, wag na lang natin gawin. But again, I know the challenges because even in the US, palusutan, they have all the resources, much more so now. So, but I think it's a start. At least the schools are willing to work with us. Transparency, may mga reporting, and then baby steps na lang. The idea here, is a spirit of cooperation. Hindi naman kami, wala na yung dating na magtataguan din, magtitirahan tayo after manalo. Hindi naman. Parang lay cards, iba na yung spirit ngayon. So that's the idea.
That's exactly why you're in an organization among schools dahil
Yes.
dapat yan may talagang
Yes.
fair play at saka
Yeah.
goodwill. But again, you're right. Better to start na imperfect, but at least there is a
Yes.
start. And
Yeah.
slowly get to that point na hopefully maging very smooth yung policy. But
Right.
talking about the US, and you mentioned this, Attorney Repo, no? Sa US, nagkaroon din ng isang kaso at nagkaroon ng ruling ang US Supreme Court na pinibigyan ng parang share o karapatan yung mga athletes to share in league revenues dahil ang kanilang sabi doon nagagamit naman daw yung image at saka yung stature ng mga players for the leagues to earn revenues. Is this something that the UAAP has even discussed, and what are your thoughts about that, Attorney Rebo?
I think insofar as the Philippines is concerned, medyo ando pa rin kami sa conservative definition of amateurism, no? Kaya nga namin nilagay itong maximum benefits. But aware din naman kami. Actually, we have to really redefine what amateurism really means. But and also nagkaroon din naman kami, meron naman kaming insofar as sharing the revenue with the students, baka medyo mahirap pa yan. But yung sa Magna Carta for students, aware naman kami that they cannot be prohibited from earning in other areas. For example, mga endorsements sila. Yun, at least yun pinapayagan namin, but at least they have to report lang. So yun lang, hindi namin sila babawalan, but they have to report.
Well,
Pero
again, mahirap na malalim na usapan yan. And of course,
yes.
Yan po ang ating panayam kay Attorney Rebo Saguigag ng UAAP, ang Executive Director ng UAAP. And we certainly hope na muling magbalik na ang collegiate sports dahil talaga namang napakahalaga din yan para sa buhay ng student athletes at ng community ng mga paaralan. Alright, before we bring to you our final interview, ang ating interview with Architect Royal Pineda, sidestep muna tayo ulit sa ating mga viral videos and trending na mga videos online sa Stop and Pop. Kopyang-kopya ng isang Steph Curry mini-me, ang superstar guard. Behind the back, check. Steph back J, check din. Shooting form, kuhang-kuha rin. Mismong si Curry, napahanga sa talento ng batang yan na kuhang-kuha ang moves niya sa murang edad. Talagang ang basketball has become global. At yan po ang ating Stop and Pop moment sa Power and Play. Ganda, no? Kita nyo ang basketball influence, kahit sa kabataan, nagagaya sa China, sa mang dako, sa Pilipinas of course, at sa mang dako ng mundo, talaga namang ang impluensya ng mga basketball players ay global. Alright, so alam niyo po, dito sa Power Play, we want to feature interesting stories, human interest stories, and today, si Architect Royal Pineda ang ating In the Spotlight. Siya po ang principal architect ng National Stadium or yung athletic stadium sa New Clark City. And today, it has been nominated as one of the best sports buildings category sa World Architectural Festival. Ito po ang ating naging panayam kay Architect Royal Pineda. Good. Medyo balikan natin ulit yung siguro kulang sa almusal. Balikan po natin ulit. Again, yung pong si Architect Royal Pineda, ang bumuo kasama ng kanyang team. Napakaganda ng disenyo, gawa ng materyales na galing sa Pilipinas. Yung tinatawag niyang practical luxury. At yan po ang ginawa niyang tema para sa National or sa New Clark City Athletic Stadium. It has been nominated sa World Architectural Festival, which is the Oscars ng architecture. And again, the design is terrific. Ito po ang kanyang sinabi sa ating panayam with Architect Pineda. At kagaya po ng aming ipinangako, kasama natin ngayon ang principal architect ng ating pinagmamalaking athletic stadium, walang iba kundi si Architect Royal Pineda. Architect Royal, good to see you. Good to have you on the show. Maraming salamat for joining us.
Thank you so much also, Nolly, and we really appreciate, and it's an honor to be, of course, invited in your show. And to all your followers and listeners, thank you so much for having me here.
Alam mo, bihira na makakuha kami ng unang-una, napaka-prestigyosong miyembro ng ating architectural industry, ng ating building industry. But more than that, bihira na mapag-usapan itong mga ganitong klaseng proyekto sa isang sports show. But the reason why we're here is because the New Clark City Athletic Stadium has been included in the very prestigious World Architecture Festival in the category of sports completed buildings. And I guess unang-una kong tanong is, ano ba yung World Architecture Festival, Architect Royal?
Well, if you really look at the World Architectural Festival, this is like the Oscar of Hollywood. This is a very famous, prestigious, and very global award that is well respected by the architectural profession and the design profession. So again, in the platform that's being discussed, itong WAF or the World Architectural Festival, it is a major opportunity, for the Philippines to be able to manifest our own modern Filipino architecture.
How often is this World Architectural Festival, Architect Royal?
Well, every year there is a WAF happening. So there are many categories. There's 100 of panels to judging all this this award. So
from your knowledge, Architect Royal, how many of our buildings have been nominated at the very least, and much more or less won an award dito sa World Architectural Festival?
Well, we had few in the past years. We had few projects that were nominated, and usually those are private projects. So it is the first that a government facility.
Wow.
That is, I would say again, it is a major accomplishment and achievement for the Philippine government, and for the Filipinos, that this architectural project that we have done is actually in a very global level. Usually we think of government projects as lagging inferior yan. We always say substandard, and sometimes to the point that we really put our projects down. But here we are now. We are very proud to say that, again, internationally, we are being acknowledged. So, that.
Very, very interesting. Alam mo, I know that the athletic stadium was built as a centerpiece for the Southeast Asian Games about 2 years ago. But and I know you've also said, described this in the past. But first of all, before I ask you about the philosophy again of the stadium, have you always been interested in creating something like this, a sports facility? I know you learned from some of the best in the country, including our national artists, Leandro Locsin and everyone else. Have you been very interested in sports as well?
Well, that's really something that is challenging for me. I've never built any sports facility yet, before the entire SEA Games. But doing architecture, again, it's a science. So what's really nice in the process of building this, this is a global standard this is a global requirement. There is a certification needed. There is an exact science to the requirements of the sports stadium. So basically, these are all in the books already of the tolerance and everything that's required. It's all set, no? It's all set. So what's really critical here, Noli, is that in the creation of the architecture is how do you address this architecture to a global appeal and a global standard at the same time, how do you resonate the Filipino in it? No? That it is still Filipino and it is a progressive Filipino. So that was the most exciting part of the process, no? To be able to mesh that international global standard and at the same time put in the soul of every Filipinos parang being part of the design.
And in relation to that, Architect Royal, how did you execute that? Yung sinasabi mong the philosophy, the vision, the concept, even very briefly, how does the national stadium reflect the Filipino?
You know, Noli, it's always been my inspiration, nature. No, nature has always been my inspiration. I am a naturalist and a modernist. And when I was tasked to do the Sea Games facilities and this stadium and the aquatic center and the rest of the other buildings there, I needed to have a grand inspiration because it's a grand and majestic project, no, to be able to showcase our identity as Filipinos. And there's nothing greater than I believe that there is nothing greater than nature. So I was inspired by the Mount Pinatubo and its eruption and its presence. We can translate this devastation or catastrophe into something that we can all be proud of and own it, no? And that's why I really got inspired by the caldera or the mouth of the volcano and made it like a color of a graphite and made also the whole architecture made of the lahar concrete, which is the lahar that was spewed by the Mount Pinatubo. And take note of the orange, Noli, that the active orange, which is again, this is patented for the Philippines. The active orange is the color of the active lava, no? When an eruption of a volcano is happening. That is to bring energy to the place and to that architecture.
You know, I'm getting goosebumps just by the way you are describing, you know, the whole process, the whole vision, the whole dream for this particular facilities, no, and particularly the athletic stadium, which is now nominated. It's interesting for a layman to understand this coming from the architect himself, and of course the people that are behind this. But now that you are in this competition in the WAF, how are you planning to present this? What are the requirements? Perhaps to make is there any presentation that you'll be making there actually in Lisbon, Portugal, Architect Royal?
Yes, yes. In fact, we are excited and looking forward to fly to Lisbon on December. And definitely there will be a presentation. I need to present and express, of course, all the things that I'm sharing with you right now. No, the reason, the meaning, and everything that is all about the creation of this project. I would just wanted to present our own sensibility as a modern Filipino to be a variety out there, and we are not there to compete, no. But I believe that you know, Nori, I even coined this, no, because I believe that the Filipino should not wait for us to enjoy luxury. I'm not agreeing that we have to wait for us to be first world to enjoy luxury. I have coined practical luxury so that the Filipinos can have luxury by design. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be the imported stuff.
These are the types of, I guess, imagery assets that the Philippines has that it really has to be depicted and shown all over the world. And sometimes we feel kulang tayo dyan sa mga ganyang klaseng iconic buildings, no? Now talking about iconic buildings, Architect Royal, you are facing some of the greatest architectural wonders, at least from a sports category, at the World Architectural Festival. This includes the Ariake Gymnastics Center in Tokyo that was just used for the Olympics, the New Carolina Panthers training facility in the US, and the Al Janoub Stadium in Qatar, which will be one of 8 stadiums that will be used for the World Cup of FIFA in 2022. How excited are you, Architect Royal, to be facing all of these giants in the architectural world?
I'm very, very excited. It's a big opportunity, as I said, not to compete. No, it's really not to compete, but to be able to present that very distinct identity that let's all accept it. Like even architects, Filipino architects that I know, a lot of them, when they are asked, is there a Filipino architecture? Is there such a thing? And some people and the layman and also some architects will say, oh, we've been colonized by the Spaniards and we've been colonized by the Japanese and the Americans. We are a confused identity. But I'm sorry, I don't believe in that, and I will never embrace that, because I feel and I believe that the Filipinos, even before the 500 years of the arrival of the colonizers, we've been creatively and living with nature. We were inspired already by nature. Our ancestors, 4,000 years ago, we were already creative. We were already living with beautiful designs, no? And that is an identity and freedom that I would love to present with the rest of the best of the world, no? And again, design can create luxury for all these activities. So for me, Nolly, it's really an exciting and big opportunity being able to be in that lineup and say, we are Filipinos.
Absolutely.
This is who we are.
Alam mo the pride that I can feel from what you're saying is immense. Yan po mga kaibigan ang panayam natin, ang interview natin with Architect Royal Pineda, yung pong principal designer or architect ng New Clark City Athletic Stadium na ngayon ay nominado dun sa World Architectural Festival. Nakakakilabot, no? I mean, the pride that he has on his work at para po mapakita to sa mundo, it's just amazing. Yan po ang mga bagay na dapat nating sinicelebrate because this is part of who we are. Yun pong ating kultura, yun pong ating sining, and of course, ang ating palakasan. Kaya po, congratulations are already in order to Architect Royal Pineda and his team. Good luck dyan po sa Lisbon, Portugal, and certainly a power and play ay full support sa ating kampanya dyan. Bago po tayo magtapos, gusto ko lamang magpasalamat nga pala kay Maring Dines Regner sa lahat ng mga bago nakikita nyo mga mga features dito. I'd like also to greet ang editor ng Perfect Drive PH na nanonood sa atin ngayon, si Adrian Flores. Basahin ko lang, mabilis lang yung mga ibang nagpadala dito dahil nauubusan na tayo ng oras sa ating Pulso ng Bayan. Ano ba ang prediction nyo sa ating Gilas team dyan sa FIBA Qualifiers na gaganapin sa Nobyembre na simula? Sabi ni Alex, the Joker, 6-0 yan, I believe in the system of Coach Tab. Hindi siya komplikado, spacing, ball movement, and defensive philosophies and are spot on. Sabi naman ni Bibit, 4-2 pero depende pa rin sa preparation ng Gilas. Mula kay Joel Landeros, I think New Zealand is the only team to beat in Group A because Gilas has beaten Soccer team twice last Asia Olympic qualifiers. At yung iba, halos sinasabi rin lahat ay Pilipinas will prevail, 5-1, 6-0, marami. Kaya nagpapasalamat po tayo sa lahat ng mga nagpadala ng inyong mga opinion sa ating Pulso ng Bayan. Alright mga kapatid, that will do it for us this Saturday. Marami pong salamat sa lahat ng sumama sa atin ngayong araw pong ito. And of course, lahat po ng ating mga tagapagtaguyod. Again, patuloy po tayo magkita-kita next Saturday for more and interesting sports stories and trending topics sa inyong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado ng umaga ang power and play. At ang aming pong laging paalala sa inyo tuwing Sabado, bawal ang masungit. And of course, sa lahat po ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Ito po, kami po ang 1PH, teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. At ito po ang Power and Play. Happy Sports Weekend, mga kapatid. More power, more play.
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's D1? Simple, smart ako.
Ano nangyari dun sa editor mo?
Yun po, nag-slight crash po yung device niya kanina, twice. So yun po, sabi ko next time